You had some big plans, real big plans. You was about to make it happen. But now something's happened, something's gone wrong, things have changed, and it's not looking too good. There are a lot of things happening right now in the world. There's coronavirus, there's disease now with coronavirus on top of that. The economy's down, people are struggling financially, your business is in jeopardy because people don't have money to spend with you because they're trying to survive coronavirus and stay-at-home orders. Oh yes, man, it's looking real bad. People are waiting on corona checks. They haven't came yet. The IRS trying to get it all together, but it's a mess. And you are at home and all you can say is you still want your goals and dreams. You're still after it. You still sort of believe, but it's starting to look a little bleak. The message I have for you today is a big message from a short scripture that anything is still possible with God. Stick around today on the channel and we talk about that. What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Faith Like That, a Christian ministry that is dedicated to helping you live that clean life for Christ and to live that life abundantly. If you haven't already, go ahead and connect with us. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can know when our videos come out. We release videos every week, and we would love for you to be a part of what we're doing here as we all do great things. So welcome back to our channel in a series we like to call the Text Message, where we do a little bit of preaching. And before I start, I always like to share that I am one that believes in the local church. I feel it is one of the most important relationships that you can have in your life, and you cannot afford to miss out on that. I don't want you to be using our channel and our content to skip out from church or forsake the fellowship. I feel you need to go there. Now, if you're in between churches and you found us, fine. I want you to connect with us, plug in with us, reach out to us if you need anything, if you have questions, or you just want someone to pray for you, or if you already have a church, great. I'm still glad you're here. Let us sharpen each other, iron sharpen iron, and pray for each other and lift each other up in prayer. All right, so that message I have for you today is coming from the book of Luke, chapter 1, and we're going to be reading from about the 37th verse. Again, Luke chapter 1, 37, and it reads, "For with God nothing shall be impossible." Enough said, so reads the word of God. Now, I want to speak to you or give you a message today that everything is still possible with God. We may be going through hard times, some challenges, some storms. There may be clouds on the horizon. There may be some mountains up ahead. It may not be easy, but it is still possible with God. Now look, watch this. Check this out. That in this book written by Luke, or the physician Luke, Dr. Luke, as they called him, who was an educated man, writing a book or a letter to a friend or an acquaintance, Theophilus. Now, we have in this letter, the same as I'm encouraging you today about what's possible in God and why it's possible, we see Luke doing the same thing for Theophilus in the time. Luke says, this is so good, this is powerful. Check this out, that I am writing to you because of what has been said and has taken place and what it means for scripture and for doctrine and for history that we have seen or has taken place before us. But again, Theophilus wasn't there, but it's taken place, so he needs Theophilus to know. I need you to understand what we're talking about. I want you to really feel me what I'm saying, because this is really something that's really important, it's really powerful, it's really inspirational, it's really motivational, and you need to understand where I'm coming from. Now, Luke says at the beginning of Luke 1, that I'm writing to you, and there's some other people who have already tried to write this story and tell this story and how great this story is and how impactful it can be for you and what has really taken place here and what it means and how it should change the world. And Luke is saying that people have already written this story, but now I'm taking it and writing it again. When they wrote it, it was good. Now, when I wrote it, it's still going to be good, but I need you to understand the magnitude of it, the depth of it, the potency of this story and of this life that has taken place and the work that took place in this life. And Luke decides to write Theophilus and say, you're being taught some things. You're being presented some things. You've been told some things. You've heard some things. You've read some things. And now in the midst of all of that, there was a great message of hope. But you're still here, and they're saying they killed him. We're saying that he's alive and he has went somewhere to prepare a place for us, but he's still not here with us. And I need you to know, Theophilus, that in the midst of where you are, the Roman Empire, where they think they've won, things are looking bleak, you still don't have what you need, you're not where you want to be, you really don't have enough, and you're going through some things, that everything is still possible with God, because the story was great, and I'm going to tell you about a story within that story that was awesome. All right, check this out. Luke tells Theophilus about a story within a story, about not just Jesus himself, but even before Jesus got here, when he was spoken about or mentioned to his mother Mary by an angel from heaven. So look at this, check this out. The angel comes down and gives a message to Mary about her having children when she's never known a man, if you know what I mean. No physical intimacy in her life up to this point. But not only that her cousin, who does have a husband and who's a little bit older in age, is about to have a baby also, but she's older in age and she's barren. All right, where you going, preacher, with this? I need you to break it down. I'm about to break it down for you. Watch this. Check this out. That we see here Luke tell a story to Theophilus about a story about Jesus' mother, who's about to have Jesus, and is being told that something is possible in two accounts that should not have ever taken place or even been able to ever happen. Think about this. You have Mary, who has never known someone and never known a man in that way, to then have a baby. In this world where we live, the only person that's been born without having a father is Jesus Christ. It is physically impossible to produce a baby without a man and a woman being together. So we see here that God doing things that are impossible right here at the beginning of Luke for Mary, where God now has taken something out of nothing and produced something. In your life, wherever you're at, it does not matter what it looks like then. Don't despise the small beginnings, because it may not look great right now, but wherever you're at and whatever you have, God can take it and he can multiply it, and every time you reach for him, it will be there. He will be there and he will provide, and he is able to pull something out of nothing and produce something for you. Think about the impact that message could have for Theophilus. If we change his name from Theophilus to Theo and put him in a modern context of somebody who needs to hear the story about what happened then and how impactful it was and how Jesus could change the world and how the involvement of God and who he is and the nature of his being and what he's able to do, that you should have some hope in God and that everything is still possible with God, because Theo in a modern context may not have a job, may not have any money, may not have the food he needs at the house, may not have a car, has no idea how he's going to get through college and pay for everything, has hit some trouble in his relationships and his marriages, has a business that he's trying to start and he feels that God laid it upon his heart and it's not moving the way it should be. There's a ministry that Theo is in that he wants to take off and it's not taking off, and the message that he should get out of this is that God is a God that can pull something out of nothing and make something for you that came from nothing, that should have never been there and it should have been impossible. There should be no way it's taking off. You should not be making any money. You should not have survived this thing that I don't know how you're even still here, but yet you're still here because God can pull something out of nothing and everything is possible with him. Now let's move on in the story. Not just with Mary, but Mary's cousin. Mary's cousin also was going to have a baby. Now, it wasn't that she didn't have anybody and she didn't know anyone. It's that she was older. She was past the prime age, past the recommended age limit to when she should be doing what she was doing, to producing children, to having children. That in this world, when you get up in that age and in that context and time frame, it should not have been possible. Her story was over. She already had her opportunity. It was somebody else's time to shine. It wasn't for her because she was barren. Now check this out. We have a God that Luke's telling Theophilus that this God did it for Mary, and not only for Mary, but for Mary's cousin, that he took something that should have been dead, it should have been dried up, it should have never happened, it should not be able to produce what it produced, it shouldn't be able to grow anymore, it shouldn't be able to expand. These are old wineskins, we can't put new wine into them, and God took what was not supposed to even be able to grow and produce anything, and he produced something in it. So not only can he pull something from nothing, but then God can come down and he can bring things back to life that should have been dead. He can expand your life, and he can prolong something that should not even be producing anymore. This is a tree that doesn't have any water. It's grass that is never fed. It's grass that isn't even cut and cared for. It's a flower that isn't given any plant food or any seed, but yet anyway, it's still sprouting up. It's even more fruitful than the flowers around it, and it's produced something when it should never has produced something, and it's produced something, it has birthed something into the life and into this world that was impactful and made a difference, and that made a way for something that God was doing. All right, now let's bounce back to Theophilus and our friend Theo we've made in a modern context. We now have Theo, who should now be able to believe that God can do the impossible, but just in case he doesn't, we see now Luke tell another story about that story, that within that story, that not only did it happen for her, Mary, but Mary's cousin has now been in a situation where she is able to produce something and have received something that she should not have been able to receive. It should not be producing. That cow shouldn't be giving any milk. That rooster should not be crowing. This should not be happening. And now, when that dog shouldn't be barking, that dog is barking. And we see here in a modern context that somebody believing that God can do the impossible and pulling something out of nothing, that even when the world has wrote you off, even when they said this was your chance, this was your opportunity, that it shouldn't be able to happen for you anymore, you should have seized the day. At that point, you are too old to work in this job, you're too old to be in this career field, that you don't have enough money, that you've ruined your chances, you lived a life and you've done things and you've made some mistakes and we've written you off, and that your chance is dead, you need to give up, that you still shouldn't give up, because God is still able to do the impossible and make it possible, even when it should be impossible and you should be giving up. You should be too old. This dream is dead. This goal is dead. This directive is dead, that God can come back and bring that thing back to life also. I really hope you got that message for today. I do, because it was good. It was good to me when I was telling it to you. I don't even have my preacher towel. Hold on real quick. You got me talking loud on YouTube and sweating. Again, because I'm getting too excited about the message I'm giving you, because it's even good to me. So check this out. If you didn't get that message, I'm about to give it to you again. That our God, my God, Jesus Christ, and faith in him and believing in him and giving your life to him and building that relationship with God, your God in that point is a God that is capable of doing the impossible. And it is nothing for him to do. He can do it any day of the week, every day, whenever he gets ready, and your relationship with him means something about what he lays upon your heart, what he's purposed you to do, where he's placed you. So if he's put that on your mind and your heart and you got a drive for it and you're believing him for it, your faith says that God is a God that is capable of the impossible and making it possible. He's a God that can bring something out of nothing. He's a God that can bring things back to life that should be dead. He's a God that can revitalize things that should be drying up. He's a God that can take something that should be done, that should be written off, that we should all give up on, and make it produce and even more fruitful than somebody who should be producing in a way that everyone expects them to. And you will be in a position where you're producing, you're bringing forth fruit, you're making numbers, you're being so productive that people are going to wonder, how is it you're doing this? It should not be possible. The message for you today is that God is still a God that is capable of the impossible and making it possible. Look, this is what I want you to do. This week, I want you to take some time and to think about, in the face of adversity, what you've given up on, what you've compromised on, what you've decided that you'll never have it, it's never possible, you're not capable of it, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, you're not capable enough. And I want you to consider that. where you may not be those things, but God is those things. That we serve a God that is capable of anything, that is all powerful, that is omnipresent, that is all knowing. He does all things well. And that God is the God you believe in and you're building a relationship with. And we're helping each other grow closer to. So I'm going to say in prayer for you this week. And while you do that, I want you to consider these things that you have put in that position in your mind and in your heart and begin to say, it's still possible. Tell yourself this week, it's still possible. I can still do it. I can still manage this thing. It can still happen. I don't care how bad the coronavirus gets. I don't care how bad the economy gets. That whatever's going on in your life, it's still possible because God says it's possible. The Bible says it's possible. And until the end where Jesus cracks open the sky, then whatever dream, whatever goal, whatever mindset you have, whatever you need to happen, whatever this thing is that you've been praying for and having faith for, it is still possible and God is capable of doing that. Thank you for coming out and spending some time with me this week as I'm again talking loud and sweating on YouTube. Let me get a good wipe. I'm in Texas and it's starting to get summer down here. It does get hot. And it doesn't help that I get loud and I'm a little bit animated too and excited. So again, thank you for coming and spending some time with me. If you have not connected with us, please do. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button on our channel. Hit the like button if you enjoyed our video. Hit that bell icon if you want to be notified when our videos are coming out. We would love to hear from you in the comments and take prayer requests from you there as well. You can also hit us on direct message. Our email should be on the channel. You can find us on Instagram. We produce content there daily. And you can connect with us there. We would love to see you in both places and to pray for you. Let's all do some great things together and we'll see you around.